Many of us are still reliving and rewatching Starship's third test flight because it was that epic. But in the days that have followed, we also have new information, including an update from SpaceX. Shortly after the third test flight, SpaceX shared the following message. They published, Starship returned to integrated flight testing with its third launch from Starbase in Texas. While it didn't happen in a lab or on a test stand, it was absolutely a test. What we achieved on this flight will provide invaluable data to continue rapidly developing Starship. On March 14th, aka Pi Day, Starship was successfully lifted off at 8:25 a.m. Central Time from Starbase in Texas and went on to accomplish several major milestones and firsts. For the second time, all 33 Raptor engines on the Super Heavy booster started up successfully and completed a full duration burn during ascent. Starship executed its second successful hot stage separation, powering down all but 3 of Super Heavy's Raptor engines and successfully igniting the 6 second stage Raptor engines before separating the vehicles. Following separation, the Super Heavy booster successfully completed its flip maneuver and completed a full boost back burn to send it toward its splashdown point in the Gulf of Mexico. Super Heavy successfully lit several engines for its first ever landing burn before the vehicle experienced a RUD, that is SpaceX speak for Rapid Unscheduled Disassembly. The booster's flight concluded at approximately 462 meters in altitude in just under 7 minutes into the mission. Starship's 6 second stage Raptor engines all started successfully and powered the vehicle to its expected orbit, becoming the first Starship to complete its full duration ascent burn. While coasting, Starship accomplished several of the flight test's additional objectives, including the opening and closing of its payload door, aka the PEZ dispenser, and initiating a propellant transfer demonstration. Starship did not attempt its planned on-orbit relight of a single Raptor engine due to vehicle roll rates during coast. Results from these demonstrations will come after post-flight data review is complete. Starship then went on to experience its first ever entry from space, providing valuable data on heating and vehicle control during hypersonic re-entry. Live views of entry were made possible by Starlink terminals operating on Starship. The flight test's conclusion came during entry, with the last telemetry signals received via Starlink from Starship at approximately 49 minutes into the mission. While the SpaceX team reviews the data collected from this flight, Starship and Super Heavy vehicles are preparing for upcoming flights as SpaceX seeks to increase the launch cadence throughout the year, and that means that I'll be taking more trips down to Boca Chica. This rapid iterative development approach has been the basis for all of SpaceX's major innovative advancements, including Falcon, Dragon, and Starlink. Recursive improvement is essential as SpaceX works to build a fully reusable transportation system capable of carrying both crew and cargo to Earth orbit, help humanity return to the moon, and ultimately travel to Mars and beyond. SpaceX thanks their customers, Cameron County, space flight fans like us, and the wider community for the continued support and encouragement. I also wanted to share these posts that I found on X. Bill Nelson, the NASA administrator, writes, "Congrats to SpaceX on a successful test flight. Starship has soared into the heavens. Together, we are making great strides through Artemis to return humanity to the moon, then look onward to Mars." Elon writes, "We look forward to supporting NASA and returning American astronauts to the moon." John Krause also wrote, "Take a moment to appreciate what we are lucky enough to be alive to witness. 500 years ago, these scenes were unimaginable. In 500 years, if things go right, they'll be commonplace. We are watching early beginnings of humanity's conquest to become multiplanetary." And Elon wrote, "Starship will be on Mars within 5 years." So this was actually my 8th trip down to Starbase and my 2nd time staying at Margaritaville, which provided a great location for viewing of the launch. Not only had over 13,000 people at the peak of my live stream watching my commentary with Joe Tagmeyer, which still blows my mind, and I'm so thankful and grateful, but I also had 2 news organizations contact me after the flight, which is progress for me. I feel like that means that, my channel is credible and my space journalism actually means something. So I'm really happy with how the launch turned out, not only for SpaceX, but also personally.
Officials say the spacecraft broke apart when re-entering the Earth's atmosphere during a planned splashdown in the Indian Ocean.
The next step is obviously to nail the splashdown, to not lose signal and to not have it burn up like that. I think we could see another launch in as little as 2 months.
SpaceX is looking to hold as many as 6 more launches this year.
I'm really excited to go down there for the next launch, which honestly could be really soon, like really soon. Could even be next month. So hopefully it's not while I'm in Japan. I will do my best to get to the launch because apparently you guys like my coverage and I really do appreciate that. But I hope that you enjoyed this update. I just wanted to do the story justice because we have a little bit more details from SpaceX, including the detail that Joe and I didn't know while we were on the roof, which is that Starship did not attempt its planned on-orbit relight of a single Raptor engine. And that was because, well, as you saw in the video, the vehicle roll rates during coast were quite a roller coaster. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to Ellie in Space. I can't believe we're getting so close to 100,000 subscribers, and I couldn't do it without your support. You drove down from Washington?
Yes, we drove down from Washington. We drove the Model Y, and it's been an awesome drive. We've had no problems, no flat tires. Wink, wink. It has been perfect. We started last Monday, and so we got here yesterday, touch base. So it took us a week.
How many charges?
Oh, Lord. We had stopped at several charges. Sometimes it was just a little jump. But I would say about 10 charges, it may be more. The hotel we're staying at now has a charge there. So we've been able to charge overnight while we're sleeping.
And you camp in your car?
Oh, yeah. We slept 2 days in the car. The first night we did the bed in the back because that, of course, you got to have a bed if you have a Tesla because you will sleep in your car. And the second night we slept just in the front seats. And it was comfortable sitting in the front seats.
What made you want to drive all the way down for this particular launch from Washington State?
I wanted to come down to see it. We watch all the YouTubes. We see you. We watch Now You Know. We watch a lot of YouTubes. My husband is a fanatic, and we had to come down to watch this go.
I'm so excited for you, and it's pretty magical being here, isn't it?
It's magical. It is. It's huge. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now.
If you guys enjoyed this video and all of my Starship coverage, please subscribe to Ellie in Space. It's completely free, and that way you won't miss any future videos. If you want to take it a step further, please consider signing up for my Patreon. YouTube revenue can be very unpredictable and hit or miss, and you guys on my Patreon are why I'm able to take these trips and help me experience the life that I'm very thankful to live down here at Starbase and many of the other places that I've gone to report for the channel and the places that I'll be going in the future.